Hello everybody, we are back. We are about ready to start the processing of the actual jars. Alright, but first off we need to do some work. Now this is where the peach pits come into. Peach pits are a natural way that preserve the flesh of the fruit. So we're actually going to put the two of these in the jar, in each one of the jars, and that's going to help your fruit, your peaches, to not turn an ugly brown. It's also going to help your peaches to stay fresh. Now, if there's a stem on it, like this one, just pop it off because you really don't want that. But these are natural ways to help preserve the fruit. Now, I don't just do the peach pits. I had a lady one time tell me that all of her peaches always turned brown. I'm going to be honest with you. I add, and it's not necessary, you can do this, I add a half of a teaspoon of lemon juice to each jar. And part of the reason why I do this is because I don't do a sugar syrup. I just do water. The peaches themselves have enough sugar in them that it's going to counteract this, and it's going to work together, and they're going to do a great job at preserving the fruit. Okay, so sometimes if you say, hey, my peaches are turning this ugly, nasty brown, are they okay to eat? That you're going to have to decide on your own. I don't know. I've never had that problem. If they turn a little discoloration, I go, and they don't smell when you first open the jar. Always when you open a jar, take a real quick smell instantly, because you will be able to tell if there is botulism in that jar. You will be able to smell it right away. You really will. So you're going to be careful as you're doing this. Okay, not to go. You need to leave at least 1 inch head space. I think I can get a small pear or a peach. Yes, I'm going to do pears next. You're going to fill them up. I just use my hands. I don't feel like there's another reason why to dirty another wooden spoon. I don't use metal when I'm canning as much as I possibly can. I like to use wood, and I sanitize all my wood instruments and all that stuff. I don't have wood cutting boards, but I do use wooden spoons and dowels. So you're going to need to do this, and as we finish this up, I'm actually going to have some purified water started, because I'm going to put some purified water. Now let's talk about water. Some people I have some really good friends who go to a natural spring and only can with natural springs because it has such good minerals in it. Let's just be honest, it is scientifically proven. To be honest with you, I don't have time to haul water. So my husband has given us a wonderful water system that will purify water, take out all of the fluoride, takes out all of the nasty chemicals that you do not want to consume on a regular basis. Also, any of the things like, how people flush their medications down the toilet? Well, that actually goes into the water system. I've read, okay? So don't jump on me and be like, that's not true, you're propagating untruth. Well, it's what I've read, okay? And I'm clearly stating that I don't know if that's for sure. But I just like to make sure that the water is as pure as possible. And we're going to do that. Now, do I heat my water? I don't heat my water. Some people are like, what? You don't heat your water? I don't heat my water. I also don't pack with a sugar syrup, because once again, they don't really need it. These are so sweet. These peaches are so sweet. They don't need it. Looks like I'm going to get my 15 jars, which is going to be awesome for the year, because I do apples. I can apples. I can applesauce and spiced apples. I do pears, and I do peaches. So we never have to buy cans at the store. Oh, I meant for it to be in there. We don't ever have to buy cans at the store, which is awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get my pour out. And I'm going to start to fill up my jars. Remember, leave a nice inch. Okay, it's going to be this, you're going to fill it up to the bottom. All right, I actually kind of go on the little left side. Just because. You don't want it to boil over, and then because of the sugar, not create a seal. That would be awful, because then, well, you would eat the peaches. You would eat the peaches that night somehow, or make a nice peach cobbler or peach salsa. Peach salsa is one of my favorites. So while we're waiting for my thing to fill up, we're going to prepare these jars here. I am going to take a nice clean paper towel, or you can actually take even a washcloth. You can either dip it in white vinegar, white distilled vinegar, not apple cider, but white distilled vinegar, or water. I'm going to dip it in water, but sometimes when it's really sticky, when I'm dealing with something that's really, really sticky, I'll do both. Okay, because you got to make sure that this is clean. You don't want any bacteria growing. You don't want it to not seal. Turn off my water here. Right. Don't want that. This is precious commodity. It really is. Alright, so I'm going to take my lid. Don't touch this white part or the brown part with your finger because of the oils on your finger. Put that down. Alright, and then I'm going to do that. I don't know. Let's see if you can see. There we go. These jars here, you are going to do fingertip tight. Now I actually have to do it a little bit tighter than fingertip tight because I have very weak hands. And I have very weak hands. But don't do it too tight, because if you do it too tight, you're going to ruin your jar. They're not going to get a good seal, and the lid will buckle. When I first did it, I did green beans. The very first thing I ever did, I did green beans. I think I ruined about half the jars, to be honest with you. So I need some more water. Not too much more though. And then I actually made a mistake. You always want to reference your books before you set up. You don't pressure can these, okay? You actually water boil them. Kind of a really cool thing is that the water boiler that I have is actually my husband's grandmother's. I just think that that was actually one of the best gifts that I've ever received. I absolutely, positively love my husband's grandfather. He is a hoot. And my husband's grandmother's now gone. Sad to say. But when he gave me all of this stuff, I felt like I was receiving a really, really awesome gift. Okay, so one of the things that I forgot to do before I put all my lids on is you want to shake it, and you can do it now. You're shaking the water bubbles up, okay? You're going to shake them up. You're shake all the water bubbles. All the water bubbles. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even know why. It's not like the ball actually gives you a reason for it. It's not why the USDA guide actually gives you a reason for it. I think it is so because it can build up pressure. And if it builds up too much pressure within the jar, these old jars that used to be a long time ago could burst. but I don't really think it's necessary now. But I always do shake my jars, and with like green beans and things. I will actually take a wooden dowel that I use to make kebabs with, and I'll just go up and down, 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 to get the water bubbles out. Now we're gonna come over here. I actually have in my water boiler. You can see it. I hold it still enough. You can see that it's starting to boil. Once it becomes a rapid boil, you are going to actually boil these for quarts for 30 minutes and for pints 25 minutes. Okay, you put the lid on top and then it boils. All right, and then you're gonna, when that comes out, you carefully pull these things up because it can be very hot if you not used to kitchen and doing hot things. And it sets it on the side, and then you're gonna set your jars out on a towel, and take another towel and put it on top of them and let them cool down naturally. It should take at least a day, maybe a day and a half to cool. Make sure you label them, what they are, and the date that you've canned them, so that way you can use your old ones up first, and you're good to go. I'll come back and show you what it's like when all of the peaches are done.